Subject to investing. The real reason why real estate subject to investing is hard. My name is Mike with myrealestatedojo.com, and I've been doing subject to deals since the last crash, which is roughly about 2006 fourth quarter. Let me define what a subject to deal is, and then I'll get into why it's so hard for so many real estate investors, pros or rookies. What is subject to investing? Simply put, it's a situation where we have a motivated homeowner. They must sell their home. And what they're willing to do is, because they're so motivated, is to allow me, a real estate investor, to buy their home by just taking over their house payments. In other words, the motivated home seller already has a mortgage on their home, and they just allow me to just take over their house payments while leaving the existing mortgage in place. So I don't cash out the loan. Meanwhile, the seller deeds me the deed. In other words, they give me the title of the property. So I become the rightful owner of the property. And the way I do is by not buying the property with a lot of cash or with a lump sum of money, by just taking over the seller existing mortgage or the seller's existing payments. Now that you know what the subject to investing is, let's talk about the real reason why subject to investing is so hard for so many investors, even if they're pros or if they're rookies brand new. Real quick, download my free book, Real Estate Investing for Beginners, the ultimate starter guide at myrealestatedojo.com, where I teach you how to find motivated sellers, buy their homes at a deep discount, and then have the seller become your own private bank. Subject to, get it now. One more thing, if you're looking for private one-on-one help when it comes to real estate investing, then consider joining my academy where you sit down with me one-on-one. 2, you get monthly coaching. 3, you get access to my best-selling courses. 4, you get access to my video library, and then the list goes on for just $97 a month. Join me now at mrnofluff.com. Lastly, the best six-figure side hustle, bicycle flipping. Want to see how? Here's a behind-the-scene video how I did it. Go to thebestsidehustle.mrnofluff.com. Now let's get back to the content. The number one reason is leads. Okay, let me say that again. Leads. When you're dealing with subject to homeowners, you're looking for a specific type of audience. They're called highly motivated sellers. And if you're just generating just 1 or 2 leads a month, then your odds are not going to be great to find these motivated sellers. So the very first reason why real estate subject to investing is hard, because you have to generate a lot of leads to find those gold nuggets. Leads are like dirt. Not every lead is gold. You have to dig through a lot of dirt to find the gold nuggets. Same thing with subject to investing, because in my opinion, subject to investing is one of the best ways to buy real estate properties without having a lot of cash, without having credit, without getting into debt personally, and so on. So if you're not generating leads, guess what? You're not going to be able to find these gold nuggets, because you got to go to a lot of dirt to find these gold nuggets. Now, number 2 reasons why real estate subject to investing is hard is many investors, real estate investors, do not know how to identify and motivate a seller. So again, let me say that. They do not know how to identify their target audience. When I buy houses subject to, my target audience are homeowners. They're highly motivated. So again, they're highly motivated home sellers. Okay, they got to be highly motivated. Now, many students do not know how to identify a motivated seller from someone that's not motivated. Now, if you're talking to, let's say, if a real estate investor is talking to a home seller that's not motivated, I don't care how many skills you have, sales skills you have, negotiation skills you have, how you know how to structure the deal will never work. If you want to buy a house from a motivated seller using the strategy called subject to investing, the main idea is to be able to find deals from motivated seller and to identify that seller is motivated or not. If you don't have that skill, then you're missing out. One of the best tools that I use to gauge the seller's motivation is called my Ninja phone script, which you can download at myrealestatedojo.com. So let's go to step number 3. Step number 3 is not having the systems. Okay. Well, let me back up. Step number 3 is not understanding the baking strategy, the baking stage. Okay. Step number 3 is not understanding what I call the baking stage. Just like when you bake baked potatoes, when you put it in the oven, you need a certain amount of time for that baked potato to bake. Same thing with motivated sellers. Once you're able to identify a motivated seller, they're not going to just take your offer on it. They're going to need what I call baking time. They're going to need some time to bake. Sometimes it's a couple of days. Sometimes it's a couple of weeks. Sometimes it's a couple of months. Sometimes it may take a year or two before the seller is highly motivated and their time to bake is ready. Now, most real estate investors, they don't have or understand the baking time, nor do they have the marketing tools to follow up with these sellers, because in the baking stage, you got to have great follow-up skills. Okay, if it's auto responders, which you can download from my Real Estate Dojo, my auto responder series, which basically reaches out to them every so often to the seller is motivated by providing highly educated information to help the seller. Okay, if you don't have postcards that you're sending out to these targeted motivated sellers. Now, I'm not saying send out postcards to every Joe and Bob, because that's going to cost a lot of money, but it makes a lot of sense that once you, let's say, market to 1,000 people, you identify out of the 1,000, there's only 5 of them that are highly motivated. It makes a lot of sense to target those 5 people through the follow-up email series, which you can download from my website, My Real Estate Dojo, through my postcard series, follow-up series, you can download at My Real Estate Dojo, to stay in front of these motivated sellers to their baking time is ready. It's ready to harvest. And a lot of real estate investors don't understand how to do follow-ups correctly because they haven't identified motivated sellers, nor do they have the skills and the patience to do the follow-up. And I can tell you guys from a pro that's been doing real estate, never had a job in my whole life, I've been an entrepreneur in my life, that follow-up is the key to success. This is one of the main reasons why I teach a course called The New Flip. And I highly recommend that if you're new, that you download The New Flip, learn how to flip bicycles, because the skills you learn in flipping bicycles is exactly the same type of skills you need to find subject to deals. Because when you flip bicycles, I teach you how to find motivated sellers, I teach you how to do follow-up, I teach you how to do X, Y, and Z, which are exactly identical to skill sets you need to do subject to investing, to find motivated sellers, to understand the banking process, to understand how to do follow-ups for free or almost for free. So if you're a new real estate investor, before you take any more courses or buy any more books, highly recommend downloading the New Flip, thenewflip.com. Go there, download my course. I have free coaching in there because I want you to win, where I teach you how to learn all the skills you need to become a real estate investor, to buy houses subject to a wholesale while making cash now with just $100 startup cost to start the New Flip. So this is why most real estate investors fail, because they don't understand the follow-up process that these motivated sellers, these motivated homeowners will need time for them to bake, okay? All right, the next reason why real estate investors have a hard time finding subject to deals is that they don't know how to structure deals, because every motivated seller has a different story or different problem, and we have to solve their problem. It's not like a cookie cutter solution. So every strategy, every motivated seller you find, the strategy is going to be a little different. The way you structure the real estate deal, the way you structure the subject to deal is going to be different. Some people that have homes and they're willing to do subject to, may not need any repairs. And that's the types of homes that I usually buy. They don't need any repair. They're like brand spanking new homes. They may have lived in it for just a year or two or three and then go into a divorce or something like that. And the house doesn't need any repairs. So I have to learn how to structure the deal to make it a win for the seller and a win for me. I might find another subject to deal, and the house may need repairs. So I have to structure that deal differently than the one that doesn't need repairs. Maybe I'll find another motivated seller that they're behind in payments 3 months or 4 months. And I have to structure that deal differently than the one that's not behind in payments, okay? So knowing how to structure a subject to deal is so crucial for your success, because if you can't be a problem solver, if you don't been around the block, you're not going to be able to package it for the seller, for the homeowner to accept your offer. And this is the reason why I have my academy. If you want to join me, I'll meet with you one-on-one. I provide you monthly coaching. I give you access to my best-selling courses because it's so important to identify these sellers. It's so important to market to them. It's so important to have the right follow-up systems. And last but not least, it's so important to know how to structure your deal so it's a win for you, but more importantly, it's a win for the seller, because if it's not a win for the seller, for the homeowner, then guess what? They're not going to do the deal. All right. And if you're talking to a non-motivated seller, I don't care what kind of sales skills you have, they're not going to do the deal. And if you don't have any leads, guess what? I don't care what kind of sales skills you have, what kind of negotiation skills you have, how much you know how to structure deals, you're not going to do any deals. So these 4 things that I just pointed out for you is what makes subject to investing so hard for new rookie investors or even pros like the ones I coach in my classes that been in business for 10, 15 years, but they have a hard time finding motivated sellers. They have a hard time doing subject to deals because they don't understand these 4 ideas that I just presented to you. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you could click the like button, let me know your thoughts below. Don't forget to join the Academy if you need help with real estate subject to investing. The link will be at My Real Estate Dojo. And remember, you're always braver. Remember, you're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think, and twice as beautiful as you ever imagined. Romy, peace.